Notice is hereby given that the Board of Directors of Green Mountain Water and Sanitation District of the County of Jefferson, State of Colorado, will hold a special meeting at 6 p.m. Monday, January 23rd, 2023 at 13919 West Utah Avenue, Lakewood, Colorado, 80228. This meeting will be held for the purpose of conducting such business as may come before the board. This meeting is open to the public. Virtual meeting option. For those who may not be able to attend in person, the district will offer the option of participating in this meeting via video/conference call. To attend, please go to https://web06.web.zom.us/895-3322-5776 or call 669-900-6833 and enter the meeting ID 895-3322-5776. To troubleshoot issues with the connection at the time of the meeting, please follow the link https://support.zoom.us/hc//EM-us//200-305-593 If you still experience issues, email customer service at greenmountainwater.org and our IT staff will assist you as soon as possible. The district does not discriminate on the basis of race, age, national origin, color, creed, religion, sex, sexual orientation, or disability in the provision of services. People with disabilities needing reasonable accommodation to attend or participate in a district board meeting can call 303-985-1581 or email customer service at greenmountainwater.org for assistance. Please give notice as far in advance as possible so we may be able to accommodate your request. Agenda item number 1, call to order and declaration of a quorum. Jeff Baker present.
Todd Hicks present. Dave Wickman here.
Karen Morgan present.
I don't see Roger, so Roger is marked down as absent. So we will declare a quorum. We'll close agenda item number 1, go into agenda item number 2, directors matters, disclosure matters. Anything to disclose?
I think Roger wants me to have his vote.
Oh, he does?
I'm just
okay. All right, we'll close agenda item number 2. Number 3, approval of additions to and deletions from the agenda. Do we have any of those? Okay, none being said, I will close agenda item number 3 and move into agenda item number 4, public comment. Limit 5 minutes per person for passed motion of the Green Mountain Water and Sanitation Board of Directors, May 11, 2021. Members of the public wishing to address the board during the public comment period are asked to keep the comments civil and related to the items in the agenda or to the conduct of the district business. Members of the public wishing to address the board will be recognized by the board to maintain proper decorum. Since Green Mountain Water and Sanitation District Board values your input, we always offer additional opportunities for the public to provide comments by using the district email system or by phoning into customer service in the event they do not get on during the meeting during the period set aside for public comment. All right, so public comment. Anyone in there? Okay. Raise your hand online if you would like to speak. Okay, I don't see anybody online. Okay, nobody in the room, so there's no public comment. We will close agenda item number 4. Move into directors matters, agenda item number 5. Subsection A, discussion of structures located in the ravines open space.
So the first part about if it's okay, we'll have Jody Allen, who's on, to give us the current status of those. So Jody works for Merrick Engineering, and he's been working on the approval of the barricades and starting the process of the design of the pylons. So you put Jody online. Jody, thanks for being here.
We can't hear you, Jody.
Can you hear us, Jody?
Mute yourself.
There you are.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
we hear you.
Okay,
So-
it must have linked up somehow. I'm sorry. So now I look like
Thanks
I'm
for being here, Jody. Can you give us a current status of the barricades or the ravine structures?
sure. So the plans, I believe I sent you guys kind of the comments. So originally the plans were submitted with the drainage improvement plan on September 22nd or September of 2022. And the city came back with some comments that they wanted a design for the abutment stabilization because we were looking at doing a performance-based specification, but they wanted to actually see the design. So on November 23rd, we resubmitted to the town, or November of 2022, we submitted to the town. And then we got comments back on January 10th of 2023. So in those comments, they had just some minor comments, erosion control, BMPs, for the city of Lakewood standards, which is very minor on this size of project. They had some total disturbance. Yeah.
Jody, can you break it into some more layman's terms for us? What's a BMP and then explain to us what Lakewood was asking for in really high level terms?
Sure. So they're looking for a grading and erosion control plan, essentially more on the erosion control side, and the BMPs are just ways to do erosion control, different methods. For this project, it's pretty much just limited to maybe one or two different options, and it's very minor, just to do the construction of the pylons and that type of work. So then they came back and also stated about the total disturbed area of 1 acre or less, and we're way below that. There's some floodplain comments, which a floodplain is not even in this zone. It's not in this area. It's definitely downstream of this area. They had some comments on the riprap, thickness, cutoff wall depth, and some edits to drainage improvement plans. Per talking with the Green Mountain Water and Sand District's team, that might not be needed anymore. So that's a discussion that we might need moving forward. But that's a very minor comment as well. Then the last thing is pretty much they had a beam conflict with the abutment. We had a kind of abutment stabilization with a beam designed in that to stabilize underneath the abutment. And they saw some conflicts, but the mainly conflicts are with the drainage improvement plan. So if we're stepping away from the drainage improvement plan, that is a null and void comment. And so that's pretty much it. And then we did have some specification changes that we'd like to add because we're looking at a different type of, we're looking at performance-based specifications on the stabilization of the abutment. And now it's based on our design. So it would just be a very minor change to our specifications. And that's pretty much it on the abutment stabilization. It's very minor. It would probably take us less than a day to complete, including the specifications. And then above and beyond that, Merrick has been talking with the metal fabricator on the barrier fabrication at the bridges. So he has provided a sketch on that, and we've passed that along to the Green Mountain staff. And then he also, I believe on January 4th, January 4th, Terry did send an email or a memo to to Jeff and also additional staff on those barriers, which includes costs, just kind of general information on those barriers. And I can go further than that if you would like.
Yes or no? You want them to go forward?
I don't know what I don't know, so
Okay, I guess keep going.
Okay. So that design, it's a relatively basic design where it would have one gate entrance on each side. So when we're looking at doing six of them, he thought it'd be about in the ballpark about 60,000 to complete all six. So roughly 10,000 per barrier. That's fabricated, powder coated and installed. And then there would be some minor adjustments to the, underneath the bridge to support this barrier. So it would be kind of pulled through the bridge. But, and the gentleman that was looking at this, I've worked with him in the past on other projects, and he has great experience on this type of fabrication, and he's very reliable as far as cost. So I don't think it's out of the ballpark or under, but it's pretty reasonable as far as what he's designed.
Okay, anyone have any questions? I think we're good, Jody. I appreciate you briefing us.
Well, hold on. Well, I'm trying to visualize. Think about barriers. Are we trying to have this be like a gate or something when you're trying to?
If you recall, the original design is like a fan type structure. It'll go in front of these things, fabricated out of metal with a fencing. And it'll be attached to the structure. And it try and keeps people from going around over, so.
But is there a door or gate or
Well, that's
something?
what he's talking about. We have a ability for man access for maintenance purposes.
Okay, so there would be a lock gate.
Yes. Yes. And it does fan out so that, like you guys are saying, that it fans out so that people cannot go around it. It would be very difficult, and it would be recessed in to the bridge so that people can't, kind of jump around the side. So it would be, there'd be a safety factor there.
Okay. Any other thoughts, comments? Okay, I think we're good, Jody. I appreciate you briefing.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and if you guys need any documents, feel free to request them. I'll get them sent over.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jody.
Then we had, I presume that was options under American. How was it? What are we talking about? Is that something different? It just says options here.
Yeah, options on, we sent out the different types of options on the barricades on email, but we want to stick with the one at the letter. I sent that letter out for the fab shop. The one that would be fab for $60,000.
Okay.
So I guess
All we gotta do is sign that letter.
how long do we already have these in construction?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We're ready to, what do you say, needs another day or something to?
Well, it sounds like he has to
once
finish the last set of comments with the city.
Yeah, once we sign a letter, they'll start building.
Okay. All right, we had already motioned for this earlier. We'd approved this earlier to move forward on these barricades. And we had approved the budget for it. I think it's a little bit more than what we had budgeted, wasn't it? Like 50,000 or something like that.
I think I'll have to double check. It might be a little bit less actually. 60,000. I'll double check with you.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure if I'm getting ahead, and of course, we got the executive session, but are we gonna try to do it all as one whole? Or are we doing this kind of piecemeal? Because my concern is if we doing it piecemeal is the sort of thing where piece we do at the beginning doesn't really fit into the final product, and therefore, end up wasting a little money if we're not, everything isn't compatible and consistent part of the general plan.
Well, let's hold off then on the discussion. Okay. All right.
Can I ask a legal question while we're on the topic? Can you give us a refresher about how this process goes for when we have decisions like this? For example, this is up, we got an email that there are options for a barricade. Is that a decision that the board can weigh in on, not in a meeting?
it is not a decision the board can weigh on, and not in the meeting, like make a decision on it, you mean, or
Yes.
just gather?
Can I
information?
say I want this barricade and that is important or not?
Outside of a meeting, you mean?
Outside of a meeting, just in an email.
Well, I think Dylan's advised the board about open meetings, so it depends on who you're sending that email to. Can't be more than 3 members of the board. So are you talking about perhaps a citizen, a neighbor? something
No,
like
I'm
that?
just clarifying, that is not something, once it comes up for discussion like
Mhm.
that, then I'm assuming that it's part of a discussion like we're doing here tonight. So I am waiting in many cases to have this discussion, once the question is raised. I'm assuming then that it is elevated to a board discussion, and if it's on the agenda that we're making this decision like now. I'm unclear about when I should be weighing in on emails asking for direction on operational level decisions.
From,
From district manager, we did the same thing on a press release recently.
Oh,
We have
okay.
kind of some things going on that are time sensitive in
Yeah.
some cases, but
I think as normal course, it's in the meeting or it's in an executive session, which we're gonna go into right now, but. I mean, you have a right to discuss this and disseminate information to the administrator, to a neighbor. You can do that all on your own as long as it's not more than 3 or more board members to violate the Sunshine Act. I think you're okay, but I'm not sure I'm answering your question, but
so if we all say, so if 3 people choose gate A and 2 people choose gate 2B, when we're emailing, is that legitimate? Can we do that?
Talking about doing a vote by email?
Yes.
oh, no.
You can't do a vote by email. no.
Well, this is my problem, is that I feel like some of these questions are coming up via email, as this is, I'd like your input on these matters, and I do not respond. Because I'm assuming that means we're either having a discussion here in a meeting, or it's taken care of by somebody, not me, because I'm not operations.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. We're not having votes via email, formal board actions not happening outside of this room.
If something comes up and the question is raised in an email, should I be doing this? Or I have these options and this is a question, and action proceeds from there, but no board member has weighed in. Does that mean that the board has provided cover for that action to be taken?
That's a good question. I might use the analogy of the check. Remember, there was a check that, we didn't know what to do. The administrator didn't know what to do. Dylan was advising. And so sometimes there'll be a decision made and then ratified at the meeting because it has to be made.
Right.
Like this morning, we have to make a decision. That's rare. But some of these, I think what you're referring to aren't like that.
No.
Feels like they're not the major decisions. They should be discussed and decisions should be made during the board meeting. Yeah.
And so the action waits until we reach it.
Yeah, there are some, like I said, that have to be moved on
Yes.
prior to a board meeting because you only have them once a month. But those are taken sort of ad hoc as you're progressing and then they're ratified or objected to at the board meeting.
Are they delegated to the president?
No, not necessarily.
No, I'm just for decorum here in the meeting. There's no,
You're just good looking.
yeah,
But that might be, we might have a more productive conversation in executive session of what you're referring to.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yep.
okay. Lobbyist.
Lobbyist, I did send out and disseminate information so that we can make a decision here. Found another lobbyist option. A matter of somewhat disclosure. I'm looking for people to make recommendations on a lobbyist, and I found one, and I found out he's a neighbor. He serves with Dave and I on our civic association for Green Mountain. I did not know he was a lobbyist. I have not talked to him outside of meetings, and I'm embarrassed to say that, but I do know him. However, Colorado Legislative Services have a bipartisan team. And if you had a chance to look over their client list, they do not have any conflicts. I think and some of the issues they have represented before, I think will be of help. Same thing with the water experience. They've got experience that will help, for example, on agricultural water resource in the buy and dry kind of situation. So I think they are, I would like to recommend them to replace, because they are a bipartisan group, to replace the group that we have already previously approved.
So is there a motion?
I move to approve Colorado, to hire Colorado Legislative Services as the lobbyist.
Yeah, Dave Lippman will second. Okay, so we have a second. Do we have discussion?
Slightly. I was very impressed with them, not just because he happens to be a neighbor, but you know, I've always been a little hesitant about this whole thing. And of all the people we've looked at earlier and now, these guys are like stellar. Holy smokes, talk about a home run. And then on top of it, the urgency for getting on this has become quite clear. I saw an article today that says the state legislature is thinking about taking over home rules from the city, taking away zoning and stuff like that from local cities and imposing state rules on things which are Lakewood rules right now. That's a big change in our environment. So it's more important than ever that we do have a presence down there. And these guys just strike me as, like I said, stellar. So
that's why Director Morgan got us going down this road.
Yeah.
So, okay, any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have four ayes, 0 nays. The motion passes. So would you please execute a will hire notice for CLS, please?
They can send they sent a draft proposal, so they can send the.
Thanks for all your work on that and the follow-up. Sure.
One final point on that I'm not going to motion on right now because we're minus the number, but previous motion was to have Director Wickman and I serve on a committee, the legislative committee on that. Since that time, Director Wickman and Director Hooks are busy on a financial committee. It may be well to ask Director Wendell if he'd like to take over. But since he's not there, I won't drag him into it right now, but I do want to put that.
well, let's just put it, we'll appoint him unless he objects. Do I hear an objection?
Okay, well, we can do that. We don't have to motion that. That's not a motion. So we can just, we can just assign him to it for now.
I think it was motioned to have the members.
Okay, well, let's make a motion and we'll, you know, he can always bow out. Still America for the time being.
Okay. Well, I feel, okay, I will motion then that we will appoint Director Wendell and abstention to serve on the legislative committee in place of Director Whitman.
Okay, I will second that motion. Do we have discussion? No further discussion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have 4 ayes, 0 nays. The motion passes.
Won't you be surprised? Okay.
Did you not leave town?
You know the rules. We all know the rules.
Okay.
Okay, it's executive session time. I will make a motion to move into executive session for the purposes of receiving legal advice regarding the Ravines open space structure negotiations. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Todd Hook second. Do we have discussion? No discussion. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. We have 4 ayes, 0 nays. The motion passes. We will move into executive session.
I see that the time now is 6:26, and I've asked that the recording be stopped. Executive session pursuant to CRS 246402 subsection B and subsection E for the purposes of receiving legal advice regarding the Ravine open space structure negotiations with the city of Lakewood. Again, we're going to ask for the recording to be stopped at 6:26, and we have a motion that was. Did you? Yeah, I have a motion that was passed, and we shall go into executive. We're coming out of executive session, and the time is 8:56. And the executive session was negotiation regarding the bridges in the ravine that is now completed. I'll bring it back to you, Mr. President.
Okay, with that being said, Director Morgan, would you were going to come out with some, you want to talk about any motions or anything in open? Or does anybody have any motions?
I will make a motion that we move forward with the barricades for the roughly $60,000 to be placed at the three structures within the Ravine Open Space Park. And then we authorize the beginning construction of that.
I will second that motion. Discussion?
I would like to make a statement that I think that a solution can be found to remove the barricades, to open up access if both agencies acknowledge the original dual use purpose of these bridges. Both agencies need to acknowledge the public needs for pedestrian access as well as pipe access. Both agencies should bear fiscal responsibility for all three bridges as they have been used for decades for both. One bridge is not separate from the other. These are a package problem for both agencies, and it's not fair for our district to assume full responsibility for any one of them by letting the city push its responsibilities onto our taxpayers. I will continue to be open to a solution and to fight for a solution that will keep access to all of the bridges and to work for what is necessary to stay within the legal bounds of our mandate.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Comments, questions, discussion? No further discussion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have 4 ayes, 0 nays. The motion passes. Okay, do we have any, I heard earlier in the open meeting, we were talking about the different types of structures. We just let this go to the manager or different options for. Nothing said, I think do your job. Just, select your best option. I don't think you need us to weigh in on that. We've already given you approval to move forward on that. With that being said, I will close out agenda item number 6. We'll move into agenda item number 7, new business and notifications for next board meeting. Does anybody?
Yeah, I think I mentioned before, I'd like to follow up on something we talked about months ago. I think the terminology was something along the lines of, we go into extraterritorial service, I think we should have a supermajority passing that sort of thing. I don't know how to word that, but I'm just looking for something along those lines put on the agenda.
You want that for the February 14th meeting?
Yes.
February 14th.
February 14th. Under
Gosh, we're gonna get
directors
Valentine's
matters
Day off.
discussion.
I would suggest if you would like to see something like that brought forward, we write something up so that we have something to talk about and bring it in.
Fair enough.
Since, as we all know, I made this exact
I know.
request and you were one of those instrumental in shooting it down. So let's see what you can do.
Fair enough.
Also, I would like to know, are we going to be discussing this Ravine bid for sending out? Are we making a decision on that, or are we just going to have that sent as it is?
That was very confusing. Say that again.
We have a big package that was sent to us, right? The engineer drawings, they're redlined. What is the next step with that?
Well, we put that, it goes out for bid, right, for actual construction.
Okay.
And it doesn't meet the threshold, or, I guess we can put it out for bid. So it doesn't meet some sort of a threshold where we have to get.
The fabrication does not meet that threshold. So you go with the fabrication of the barricades, and then once the drawings are finalized, you can sign off on the drawings and put it out for construction bid.
Okay.
I was talking about the actual bridge renovation with the pylons and the cable. That has to go out to bid.
Yeah.
So, I just like to make note, I do not know if that is going out without what the next step for that will be, but again, I want to say that I think that needs to be a total bridge repair and not just one side of a bridge. So I think this whole process of just repairing one side is a waste of our time. And it keeps intact the original structure that we are debating. So it's not getting us any further either way.
So I would motion that. You're wanting to go out of scope of where we're heading, so.
I'm not motioning anything. Right now, I don't think there's any, I don't know that there is any action on the table for the bridge for that bid. I'm just letting that be known.
Okay. Ready then. Anything else to add for the new business for the next board meeting in February 14th? Nope. Okay, I'm gonna close that and I'm gonna motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second it.
We have a second. Do we have discussion? No discussion. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All for, well, did you do anything?
I said, pardon me, of course, you want to do it. Oh, by the way, I want to talk right now. Anyway,
Okay.
Of course, I.
4 ayes, 0 nays. The meeting is adjourned, 9 o'clock. Thank you, everybody.
Aren't you glad you
You guys have come a long way.